I'm Emily Richett, and you're watching Amplify. In this episode, I'm taking you inside Clickfunnels' annual conference, Funnel Hacking Live, where we'll meet entrepreneurs who are on top of their game so we can reverse engineer their tactics, model their mindset, and hack their success. Hi, I'm Emily Richett here at Funnel Hacking Live, Clickfunnels' annual event, and off the stage into our studio is Alex Charfen with the Billionaire Code. You just rocked it out there. Some of that stuff just blew my mind. You spoke to every entrepreneur in the room and watching who, whether you're at zero, you've yet to make your first dollar, to $1 billion, you've worked with all of them in between.
Yeah.
Tell me about the entrepreneur personality types and how you've used that to help business owners figure out where their struggle is and get beyond it to scale.
I think one of the biggest challenges that entrepreneurs have is that we feel like we're different than the rest of the world, but a lot of times we don't admit it. And the entrepreneurial personality type is the declaration that in fact we are different than the rest of the world. We're driven differently, we want different things, we get motivation and momentum from a different place. And so my message to entrepreneurs is we are different, and we are driven by momentum, and if you're not out changing the world, then you will not be comfortable, and that's who we are. And I believe we're the evolutionary hunters, the people who were put here on purpose on this earth to create consistent, positive human evolution. And if you look at it, entrepreneurs really are the only source of consistent, positive human evolution. I think we always will be.
You put up a really cool chart on the screen, and you started with people at certain levels, and as they grow, and then they're ultimately the entrepreneur, okay? And at each level, it said, here's where you're at, here's what you should be focused on, and here's how you get beyond it. So let's start at the bottom. People just starting out who are watching, who are making, let's say, like under $40,000 a year. What should they be focusing on to move up to the next level?
So here's what happens to entrepreneurs all the time is that, in fact, if you look at the majority of entrepreneurs, they are focused on something that's really not moving them forward right now. And that's where so much wasted opportunity, wasted time, wasted energy happens for entrepreneurs, is that we focus on a place where we're not actually creating momentum. So in that $0 to $40,000, the only thing you should be focused on is yourself, like getting routines and habits and forward planning and understanding how to maximize everything you do, because you're the only motivator for that business. You're the only thing that's going to grow it. And what happens far too often is beginning entrepreneurs don't focus on themselves, instead put everything into the company, and that just doesn't work, because if you're not alive and healthy and well and in momentum, you won't grow a business.
All right, next step, people, they've cracked that, they're in that range, just over 100,000. Let's say they hit the six-figure mark, woo, made it. Now, of course, we're not happy because we need to make it to the next mark. What do you advise they do?
So in that early seeker to starter, that under $40,000 or under $100,000, it's really understanding who you are and understanding who you serve. And then in that next range, getting from like 100 up to 1 million is really serving that population well, making sure that you have leverage lead generation and leverage conversion. And so you have the right people coming towards you and you can get them into your products, and that will get you to that 7-figure mark. And one of the hardest things for entrepreneurs to do is just stay there and continue to generate the same types of leads for the same type of product and grow that business, because what happens to a lot of people is they hit 6 figures and then they want to start another business. Stay in that business and grow it to the place where it hits 7 figures. You have a lot more resources and a lot more energy then.
I'm laughing because that's what I did. One night I had an extra 3 hours. I built an e-com store selling like baby onesies. Like, what am I doing? Stay in your lane, Emily, right?
Spontaneous business, acts of business.
Because I can. It's so easy to start a business these days.
Yeah.
But doesn't mean you should start multiple different streams of revenue. Just stay in that lane. So what I love is you talk about to get beyond that, to be in that small percentage of business owners that's truly making an impact in revenue and in people, you need to eventually give up control. And you said that's one of the hardest things for entrepreneurs to do.
It's crazy hard for entrepreneurs to do. We get to this level as entrepreneurs where we have to start delegating, not just time, because delegating time's easy. Delegating tasks is really easy. Like, hey, do this thing for me. Delegating time is different. Like, hey, I need you to do this stuff, but I'm not gonna know the tasks. Delegating success is totally different. When you get over $1 million and you get into the place where you're actually growing a real team, you have to start delegating the actual success. You tell people what you want, they go create the success, and it happens in your business, but you're not doing it. And for a lot of entrepreneurs, letting go of that control, letting someone else be successful in their company is incredibly difficult. But that's the true transition. We go from transactional leadership to transformational when we go from telling people what to do, checking that it got done, and then telling them what to do again, which is exhausting exhausting and draining and horrible. Instead, we show them a clear outcome, we coach success along the way, and we get leverage results. And that transition is how entrepreneurs really accomplish what they want.
And that is earth-shattering for people that are stuck in that area of just delegating tasks and checking it off to make sure it's done, to delegating success.
Yeah. I call it people as process. When we go to, in an early business, you should delegate tasks. You should delegate things that you need done. But the problem is if you delegate enough tasks, you end up with all these people who act as process, and you're the only person making decisions in your company. Eventually, you need people around you where you can delegate success, and then you can get much more done. When you look at any entrepreneur you and I respect, Bezos or Zuckerberg or Musk or anyone who's created, or Winfrey, who's created massive organizations, they do a small fraction of what they actually show in the world. You look at Elon Musk, he's the CEO of 2 companies that are changing the world. He's trying to change combustible engines and save us here on Earth, and just in case that fails, he's backing us up with a colony on Mars. And so you look at those 2 outcomes, there's no way Elon Musk is responsible for more than a fraction of a percent of what he does. Everything else is delegated success.
Yeah, absolutely. So we want to learn more, and we want to learn the steps to actually take to make that happen, whatever level we are stuck in as business owners. Where can we find you? How can we know the code? Hashtag know the code.
BillionaireCode.com.
There it is. This is a true marketer right here when he puts it on the shirt. Well, thank you so much, Alex, and thanks for sharing that knowledge, and looking forward to knowing the code soon enough.
Thank you.